ASMR. Today we're going to be doing another long overdue comic book haul. And so the first bit I'm just going to be showing off a lot of my, literally the stuff I just picked up. And as you know, I've been away for several months. I have a lot of backlog to show you, but I want to show you the most recent stuff and then show you the older hauls because it's all about what's current. So my stuff is kind of dwindling as far as the stuff I want to talk about. I'm still buying lots of different books, but they're just not grabbing my attention as well as they used to. I'm getting burnout more or less on a lot of the just modern comics, unfortunately. But I'm still buying them to support my local shop and stuff like that. The longtime manager is now finally the owner, brand new owner of the comic shop that I go to, Ever Comics. So I still want to support him and the business and all that good stuff. But most of the stories, unfortunately, aren't really driving me crazy. So, but I still, basically, the stuff I have been buying, I'm still buying. But as you guys know, I don't like to say negative things. So if you'll notice my stuff is smaller, it's because the other things that I read that are normally on my pull list, I don't want to put down harshly on camera. So first off, we have this fun Turtles 40th anniversary. So I love this because this is a collection of all sorts of Turtles creators throughout their history here. And it starts off with the Eastman and Laird drawings over some Edgar Allan Poe, I believe. Yeah. And it's short, but yeah, it's just kind of like splash pages of each of the Turtles, but nice little opening. And then, yeah, we get a montage of different creators stuff. We get some Jim Lawson work here. A Rat King story. I really liked this one here. Kind of April talking about all the iterations of the Ninja Turtles. There's a Eastman and Laird cameo there. But yeah, this story is about all the iterations. It's kind of like a Tales of the TMNT within the real world type scenario. And then we get a fun April's first meeting with Casey, done by one of the Turtles Adventures, Archie artists. And then we get some of the newer IDW cartoon Turtle stuff there. And then we get the Fox Kids Turtles stuff, which I actually missed out on. I want to go back and watch that stuff. The 4Kids stuff, or whatever you want to call it. It's the 2002 Turtles, I believe. But it's a nice looking artwork there. And then there's the 2012 stuff, which is what my kids grew up on. A lot of fun, a lot of Easter eggs to past stuff. And then there's the not very fond for a lot of people, but some people enjoyed it, the Rise Turtles. And we have the new IDW stuff here, which I really like how they colored this. It seemed like they took their time with it. And let's see. And then there's one of their little training in the woods things whenever Shredder was teaching them. And then we get a bunch of nice little pin-ups in the back. So yeah, I really enjoyed it's okay. It's a big deal. And it's also a reminder of how old I am as well. I'm going to be actually turning 39 this August, so the turtles are only 1 year older than me. Okay, next we have Action Comics number 1066. And this is part of the, I think it's House of Brainiac, if I remember. Yeah. This is part 5. I loved this mini-series, or crossover, or whatever you want to call it. Really interesting. The art's good. A lot of classic characters coming out. Brainiac, we see Lobo in here. We see the Super Family in here. Lex is in here. Lots of high-stakes stuff. Brainiac has captured Lex's daughter, and they're more or less trying to rescue her. He was siphoning her to help make a wife for himself, more or less, or a queen, or whatever you want to call it. But just a really cool story. And I think this is the conclusion, part 6, Superman number 15. So yeah, if you missed this on the stands and you love Superman, either try to find it or definitely get the trade of it collected. It's been one of the more entertaining modern stories. And I do just have to mention I'm very excited for McFarlane putting out the Batman Forever line of figures. I have them all pre-ordered, luckily. I still have to get the Batman and Robin movie ones too. So this is Action Comics 1067. And this one's a period piece. So we see him with the Fleischer cartoon logo all throughout the book here. Art's by Eddie Barrows. There's a lot of nice little iconic shots in this particular story. I'm trying to figure out if he's chewing on this gun here, though. I thought that was odd. I've never really seen him chew on a gun before. I know he bends them all the time, but chewing for Superman is a bit odd. And then there's a backup story in here that I don't really, it doesn't grab me. Which I don't like when they do the little backup stories. It just detracts the page count from the main attraction, you know. And then we have another Saturday Morning Turtles number 14 here. So, and I mean, even this is kind of getting old. They've got this little Mixius Pitlick type of character here, Mr. Og, who's kind of got them in a dimensional limbo and just kind of doing weird stuff. And it's gone on for, it seems like 6 issues now. I don't really expect a sprawling thing from this particular series. So I'd give him points for trying to do something big, as what initially was just kind of like a, you know, one-off side story book. But still, I'm ready to move on from Oog or Og over here and on to something else. some of my figures and collectibles that I got, and then we'll move on to all my other books I got, and then my huge pile of back issues that's really been taking my attention. Okay, so there is a new video game place. Well, it's kind of under new ownership around this area that I shop. And so they had Superman 64, which this game is awful. It's super buggy. A lot of people have considered it one of the worst video games of all time. I know I got close to beating it and then it crashed on me. You can like clip through the walls and just kind of be stuck in a black void. It's very easy to have happen. I think I was in like literally the final stage and I had the game where I clipped through something on me. And it's hard, even if that stuff was fixed, like it's very hard to do the objectives in a timely manner. There's innocent bystanders getting killed and all sorts of things, you know. But I recently discovered some codes for it. So it'll be fun to play this and see that if I can actually finally see the ending and try out some different game modes and stuff with it. So and then I got the Incredible Hulk on the Super NES. Now when I was a kid we rented the Sega version of this. I suspect this is pretty close, only maybe graphically brighter, in this audio better and not as dirty. Genesis always kind of had that gritty sound font on it, you know. But the main thing with this game is part of the way to, if I remember, maintain your form or something to that effect. You have to take pills all throughout the game. They're just like things that you pick up, you know. And my mom was super protective and she just saw drugs on the screen, so once she saw that, she didn't want us playing this game anymore. This was the same woman that drew t-shirts on shirtless men in the books that I had, crossed out guns, stapled whole pages over pages that were too offensive. She would black out swear words. She meant well, she was just super protective. And all those old books I have are definitely not worth anything due to that, but it's just kind of funny seeing the lengths that she would go through to kind of protect us. So, but yeah, I've never really played much of this at all because of that. I don't even think I got out of the first level before she witnessed the pill grabbing. But I look forward to playing this and seeing what this game is like. But I got the cool blue electric Superman from 1996 or 97. And yeah, this is one I'm not buying a ton of DC figures, but this is one I had to have, and it's just so well made. I mean, they really nailed the look of him here. One of the better molds for sure. I am contemplating getting the rest of the line for that Plastic Man. He's a fun, zany character, you know. I really hate that the card included for Superman doesn't have him in the blue, though it's got him, you know, in this form prior to that. From the, I'm trying to remember the storyline. But it's a good story, but I'm just blanking on the title of it. But it's, I believe Grant Morrison was writing it at that time. Yeah, and then to go with it, I got the Superman 123. This is the first appearance of the Electric Superman. And what's cool, I totally forgot that all of this here on the cover, all the white and stuff, is actually glow in the dark and it's coarse to touch. But I'd forgot about that, so when I had bought this in combination with buying the figure, I was like, oh cool, it's glow in the dark. So nice little thing. I love when there's gimmicky stuff like that, because it's like, it makes having the floppy actually worth it, because if they reprint an omnibus or whatever, you're not going to get that glow in the dark page in there, you know, so it's really cool. And then the same found that Superman. I found this great Jack Kirby figure from NECA, and I think this is the only time Jack Kirby's been officially merchandised ever. And I'm so super happy because you always see Stanley stuff, but never any Jack Kirby stuff. As you guys know, I'm a big Kirby fan. And yes, they did get permission from the estate. All the fine print is there. And then there's stuff about visiting the KirbyMuseum.org, as well as Heroes Initiatives, which helps support comic creators needing funds for things like medical bills and stuff like that. Because unfortunately, it doesn't always pay what it should. So, but yeah, I love all the little accessories. He's got like his little sketchbook in there with his little magic pencil that he uses that brings his drawings to life. With one of the things that comes out that Donnie ends up fighting, and then there's the little weapon that he uses to fight it. So I did notice they also released the Baxter in the same wave, and he has got the same body type, so that's kind of a bummer. So it's not a unique mold other than head. I mean, they've painted it different, so it's like a pink sweater, and then, you know, he's got brown skin and stuff like that, but in a different head sculpt. But they reused literally everything below the head for the Baxter Stockman mold. But it's still a cool figure, and I believe the only official Jack Kirby figure ever. Okay, so I got some fun stuff that I had always wanted as a kid that they just released for the 30th anniversary. I believe it's the 30th. Yeah, it has to be. It's not 25th. 30th anniversary. They did the Street Sharks reissued figures, and they have extra articulation. The old ones, the arms were just kind of one piece that would move and stuff. So these have extra articulation. They still have the shark skin on them, so they're all rubbery. They have all the action abilities they had. He's got his little pull punch, and then they've got extra movement in the legs. This swivels all the way. The legs spin, all this good stuff. So really happy with the reissue. The packaging is the same as it was, which I'll show you in a minute. There's another one here. Yeah, here's how he does his. I had to remember. But these are great. I never had these two guys. I did have this one when I was a kid. But as far as like the normal original wave, all I had was Big Slamu. But all the other ones I never had. I got like the random second run ones with different paint apps and stuff like that. And I think I got him and Slopster on clearance at KB Toys, if I remember. And these, it seems like the paint is maybe like a lighter shade. I don't remember this one in particular being so metallic-y. I could be just misremembering it maybe. But yeah, they still have like the little shark cages they came in. So this, you can pull this out of here and it's still just like a full cage that you can swing open and shut. And then it's got the old promo art up there, the little painted stuff and everything. So really nice. And I really hope they make the rest of the wave. I'm sure they will. These are just kind of selling out and being resold by scalpers, so I think that they'll continue to do the rest of them, at least the initial, you know, the first wave, hopefully. And then, of course, during all these months, the XMen 97 cartoon was on, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was funny that a lot of story beats were from things from the 80s. But yeah, pretty well done. Great to watch. Me and my kid watched it together every single Wednesday. So I have been collecting figures to make a display with. I still have to buy the displays. I will show you up on screen. I just got these displays for my old Ninja Turtles figures. So finally got those, I found these on Amazon. I asked that you just don't buy them all up so that I can buy more to fit my XMen stuff in. But it looked to me like I could fit about 3 or 4 of these taller figures in each of those cases. I love how they're lit up and everything like that, so. But yeah, this is the VHS Sinister here. It's the Apocalypse. Yeah, they don't have a bunch of the cartoon ones for the 97 series out. But for once they didn't, I'm just kind of mix and matching. I love this Apocalypse though. And I'll show off the packaging in a little bit too. And I know I already showed off Cyclops here. I can't remember if I showed off Wolverine or not. It's Magneto. She's not bad. I feel like maybe the head sculpt could have been a little better. I like how they kind of did like the shadow from the helmet on it. Makes him a little bit more menacing. This one they haven't done a cartoon one yet for, but here's Beast. And I found this, there was a retro toy show that I took my kid to, and I found it there. Super happy to find it. I found it for like half price. Basically what it was for, like regularly when it first came out is what I bought it for. So I couldn't pass it up. Then we have Jean Grey. Her ponytail came off, but it comes on and off. It didn't break off. It just comes off easily. There's the Storm from the VHS line. I just liked this one better with the big hair and the kind of like, you know, the silver suit highlights and everything like that. And then the lightning bolts. The new one doesn't have all that, and it's got the 80s mohawk style to it. I prefer this version of her, so. Then here's Gambit. And yeah, of course they came with all their small pieces and that, but I just don't feel like showing those off. I got the classic Rogue, just because at this point, basically it was more expensive for the animated Rogue. Plus I just like the build of this one better. As creepy as that sounds, like this is just, you know, with a Rogue we all know. And they kind of took those features away from her in most of the scenes in the cartoon. And she looks like younger. It's weird even though it's supposed to be later, but whatever. And then here's Longshot. This one doesn't have anything to do with the current cartoon too much. I don't remember making an appearance. He may have made a cameo. But the main reason I got him is because I couldn't pass on this giant Mojo. And this thing's crazy. Like his stomach is squishy. And all of his legs move and stuff. And the tail moves. This toy is insane. The heads you can swap out and stuff. It's just a super cool toy. So I had to have him with Longshot. Sorry if you hear any mewing or scratching. I have cats that are trying to get in here and mess up my video. That's one of the struggles I have with recording, is sharing a very smaller space with them. So, sorry. Finally, for my figures, I got this nice big Sentinel. And these are great. So, these are more or less, you know, like the giant kind of like cheaper quality superheroes. That's what these are. I think it's literally the same type of line, although these do feel a bit more quality than those. Those ones seem hollowed out. These don't feel that hollow. But just to show you the scale, so it's not super accurate scale. They have a smaller line of animated ones that are 4-inch. Those are closer to the right scale, but these are still, you know, they are are quite large in comparison to the regular 6-inch figures. These are close to 3 feet big. But even the resellers have been taking these and overpricing them. This should like be a $20 or $15 thing. I lucked out and I got mine for I think $25 or something, but usually when I look to, because I'd like to get more of them, they're usually like 50 or upwards, which I refuse to pay for this, knowing that it's, you know, the lower grade figure. But yeah, it's cool. I like this. They really nailed the face on it and everything. But yeah, most of the 97 wave looks like this. And they've got kind of like the dummy backing where you can slip your figure in and out. I'm just not keeping the boxes. I just really wanted to show you guys, and then I'll probably discard these. But yeah, you can close it back up like that, and it works pretty well. And then here's the homage to the retro wave here. So I'll show you that one. And then they put Apocalypse in a bigger one. It's nice to have it this huge size. I love that. But yeah, they still nail the look of it with the jagged edges and everything. Mojo is just kind of in the standard, more modern Legends packaging with no plastic, which they kind of walked back on that one, I think. Oh yes, and here's the VHS ones. Here's the Storm one. And then here's the Mr. Sinister one. So yeah, pretty cool. The next step I'll just kind of show as we go here. Not really crack it open too much. So we have its Action 164 and Superman 13. Yeah, this is all the House of Brainiac stuff. I believe this is part 1 of that. Action 1065. So yeah, highly recommend that story arc. It was a lot of fun. Oh, I guess this is probably part of it too. Number 14. I love this cover too. By Dave Johnson. Detective 1083. This has some Federici work in it, which is the main reason that I kept it. I don't know where any of the newer detective stuff fits chronologically, so it just kind of frustrates me. Then we have World's Finest 26, 27, and 28. And yeah, this is all kind of makes you a bit like zany misadventures. But Dan Mora's art is good enough to hold me on it, to talk about it. So I'm not sure I showed this one previously or not. This is Assassin's Creed Visionaries. I think it was supposed to be a number 1, and then they just kind of are just calling it different. They're not numbering it, I don't think. So this is the one after it. It focuses on the Shinobi and stuff. But yeah, Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite modern game franchises. I love this book here. This is Street Fighter Masters Akuma vs. Ryu. And it's all done in this art style here by Kenneth Lowe. I believe he's a Hawaiian artist. I'm just speculating. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I was just really impressed with the art style. It's just all this watercolory sort of, you know, it looks way different than your standard comic book. So anytime you can really just transform the storytelling medium, I love it. So I recommend this one. I hope they do more different type of out-of-the-box stories like that. treated as its own thing outside of all that. So yeah, you can see the creators here. All sorts of names you recognize: Jason Favok, Gary Frank, Brian Hitch, Jeff Johns, I don't know, Lamont McGee, Francis Manable, Brad Meltzer, Ivan Rees. I don't know Peter either. I know this Peter J. Tomasi. And I don't know this last one, Mato Zucht. But yeah, so this is just kind of a sampler of all their characters and stuff. The art in all of the stories looks good. I'm just really not trying to add a ton of books. I'm really trying to, if I can, still support the shop, yet still try to save money based upon my current living situation. I'm just trying to be a little bit smarter, you know. So, but what I saw on the sampler looked good, so I would recommend checking out the Ghost Machine imprint and following along with these characters. It seems interesting for sure. And Sam and Twitch #1. So this is all done by Trudansky. So it's the more like gritty. It's the gritty style and artist that I started to follow Spawn with. So I actually really missed seeing this art. And this series focuses all on Sam and Twitch, our favorite detectives from the Spawn universe. Now we've got Untold Destiny, the Foot Clan #3 and 4. And this is all San Luco stuff. San Luco was my favorite IDW Turtles artist. And I believe his style has gotten better as the years have gone on too. It's much smoother now than it was. Which, I mean, I still appreciated what it looked like before though too, but it's nice to see more confidence, I suppose, in the line work, or at least just a cleaner feel to it. I like it. Next we have Turtles 150. And I mean, honestly, I think that this series got really muddy at the end. I'm gonna have to reread it. I just haven't mentally been in the right headspace. I think it's probably okay, but it just seems like, I don't know, it just kind of escalated really fast. And I don't know at what point things just kind of got. It's like, what minute we were in Mutant Town, and then suddenly here's, you know, Donnie trying to fix the timeline with magic and all this sort of craziness. Art's still solid and stuff. It's still interesting. I just have to kind of go back and comprehend honestly what I read. And then this was the free comic book day book featuring the Night Watcher. So this was a sampler of new Turtles stuff that's coming. Really spotlighting on the Night Watcher, if I remember correctly. I don't know that the other... Okay, yeah. So that was the Night Watcher story there. And then there's an Andy Kuhn story in here. Which, fun fact, he was originally supposed to be the person that drew the last Ronin, and then they changed it to Ben Bishop. I'm not sure why, but apologies for my cat using his litter box back there. You can hear him scraping, probably. down is Comic Tom 101 and Fire Guy Ryan's story that they're putting out, and then Ben Templesmith is drawing it, and it's just kind of like some sci-fi horror stuff, and it's gonna continue, but basically the first chapter of it is done. They started with 4 parts, and then, as you know, Tom just kind of stays busy constantly with all the YouTube stuff, and then just selling books and things like that, doing whatnot, streams, selling product as well. But yeah, this is definitely a good start, and I look forward to seeing more of what they do. And then they've been doing some Turtles Black, White, and Green anthologies. So we have number 1 here. And then there's number 2. So yeah, as I've said, they're just really trying to maximize their Turtles output. But yeah, I love the accents on here with the green and stuff. It's all funny that this concept originally started with like the Batman Black and White little mini-series stories they were doing way back in the day. And now it's just kind of pretty much anything. They'll make these sort of muted color presentation books of, like, Harley Quinn just had one. I know Carnage had one a while back. They had an Aliens one. But these are cool. I love just seeing kind of like the colors pop against the clean line work and stuff. Which there are times I honestly prefer, like, the simplicity where you can see more of the line work. Or the detail, depending. So yeah, there's Turtles 12. I'm not going to show off since it's the same as kind of the other 13. And then there's the April special. I'll show this one off. Yeah, so this is done in the animated style here. So they've had quite a few Yosagi Ojimbo crossovers with the Turtles recently, but this one is done in the animated style. So, pretty fun. I forgot though, I thought that the interior was going to have the art like they had on the cover here. I love this guy's art. Which is, I always forget his name though, unfortunately. Chris Jones. And then we get some greatest hits of Slash, which I don't know how many more of these they have. But he doesn't have that many standouts. I think they're mostly just showing IDW stuff. He doesn't have a lot of past stories, I don't believe. There's some Archie stuff. But aside from that, I don't think he has anything. Yeah, everything else is IDW. And then we have the source book number 2 and 3, which these are great. They're basically a way for people to catch up and kind of get all the information they need about the previous 150 issues before jumping into the brand new soft reboot of the Turtles coming out. But yeah, there's like a full plot synopsis and like a character plot synopsis, all sorts of good stuff. During Free Comic Book Day, I found this. I didn't know that this was a product. Basically, they went ahead and they released a collector's version of the Robin 2 miniseries. So they basically put holographic stickers on everything. type of stuff. And then of course they've got some little synopsis stuff there. But all sorts of, they just literally slapped the exact same images against different covers here. Some of them work well, some of them don't. And I know the editor voiced frustration in the trade about trying to get all these variants and stuff lined up, and then they had a variant for each one without the hologram too. But basically, as the series ran, then there are fewer and fewer covers. I think part of it was just kind of like simplicity's sake. But yeah, I know I've always loved the kind of the 90s era of Robin. He just kind of had this attitude to him, you know. And he just looked cool. Yeah, so that's all those. It was a limited set. This was my number out of 25,000. Yep, so this is really what I've been working on since I watched not the Turtles, but the XMen 97. I pretty much going back and reading. I've never read a lot of the older X-Men stuff, but so some of it I have in trades and then some of it I have in floppies, but this particular run I'm trying to more or less get. This is really the start of my floppies for it. 168 here, and then it just kind of goes. So I've been slowly collecting these floppies, and over the course of my time when I haven't posted videos, I've been buying them here and there because you can see some of them are a bit pricier, and then some of them aren't, but most of them, yeah, they're 15, 20. So it's like, although I'm not having a huge sprawling modern pull list, I'm going back and getting a lot of these older books. But after I do this, I'm like, I don't have that many other things I want to go back, because also too I have limited space. But this run in particular of just kind of, everything since the giant size X-Men on through, like Jim Lee's run, it's just kind of iconic to me. So yeah, we've got lots of key appearances. We've got, here's the life-death story as currently made famous by the animated series. But yeah, it's funny how they went back and they're like, oh yeah, we've got all these story beats from the 80s in the show about the 90s. No, I already had all these long shot minis, but I have them in the correct reading order because I'm just going through and reading these as I go. I'm currently on the Brood story trade paperback before this. But yeah, I just love this period, and there's the suit we see in the new show. It's very inspiring to me. Unfortunately, a lot of the newer books don't do it for me. I'm not trying to be negative, but a lot of that spark has just gone out from me. It's the first Marauders appearance there. Yeah, so I'm only missing like four floppies I need, and then I need to get the gift trade, and then I think I'll be all set. I'm missing 171, which I believe is Rogue's first joining the team, and then I'm to start filming this at 10 p.m. and then there was still noise. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it. Thanks for still coming back to check out the channel. I'm gonna continue to do my best to post content, with kind of the modern stuff being more sparse, and my paydays not being every other Friday. I get paid on the 10th and the 25th every month. It's kind of not as guaranteed as before how it was, but I'm gonna still try to keep putting out content, and I just thank you for still being subscribed, still choosing to watch my channel. We will be doing a giveaway announcement contest, like to enter videos soon, and then hopefully we'll do a drawing on a live stream at some point. I do want to revitalize the channel. It's just kind of been a rough patch, as you all know, so. But thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. If you feel like helping out, I do have a PayPal down below too. You can donate if you want to see me buy something specifically. You can put a note in there of something for me to show off on the channel or whatever. But regardless, just your views and your likes, your sharing, subscribing, all that's appreciated. So you all have a super